deep in the smoke-choked hollows of West Virginia's Appalachian Mountains, 1883, where coal veins bleed black blood and the earth devours men like a ravenous god, Blackthorn Hollow clings to life amid jagged peaks and sulphurous fog. Here, Irish immigrants and mountain folk slave in the hungry hollow mine, their pickaxes carving fortunes for distant barons, while widows keen over fresh-dug graves. Faded Truths. History unearths this lost saga from America's soot-stained shadows, a tale of ruin, resilience, and the yeast that leavened despair into defiance. Clara O'Leary, a freckled Kerry lass of 19 with chestnut curls and emerald fire, fled famine's ghost across the Atlantic, clutching her grand soda bread recipe like a talisman. Her brothers fell to Colorado's silver avalanches. Her last kin, Sean, to a catastrophic shaft collapse that pancaked 30 souls in a roar of timbers and dust. Evicted by the ruthless company boss Harlan Hawk McGraw, Clara teeters on starvation's edge, until Iron Mary Callahan, a broad-shouldered widow forged in strikes and loss, hauls her from the mud. Together, on a stubborn half-acre farm, they kindle a bake oven that feeds the hollows hungry, soda bread with caraway bite, apple stack cake dripping sorghum, cornbread studded with hickory nuts, what blooms from dough and grit, a Sunday hearth fire drawing miners, widows, and urchins, fiddles wailing Shady Grove, lessons whispered over Loaves, a web of barter defying Hawk's Pinkerton enforcers. From grief's ashes rises a beacon, bread as rebellion, hollow as hearth. But Hawk circles, quotas tighten, hunger sharpens knives. Can Clara's loaves unite the dam before the mountain claims them all? Subscribe to Faded Truths History for untold truths from the veins of the forgotten, where simple hands need empires undone. Chapter 1. The Shaft's Cruel Reckoning. In the throat of West Virginia's Appalachian wilds, where spruce-cloaked peaks stabbed a bruised October sky like the spines of some ancient, vengeful beast, Blackthorn Hollow festered in 1883, a ragged scar of tar paper shacks and slag heaps huddled against the hungry hollow mine's insatiable maw. Coal dust was the air's sacrament here, powdering lungs and dreams alike, turning creeks to ink-black veins that slithered through rhododendron thickets. Dawn's first light barely pierced the fog when the mine whistle keened at 4 a.m., a banshee wail rousing 200 souls. Gaunt Irish emigres from Kerry's famine bogs, Scots-Irish hillfolk with banjo-calloused fingers, and a smattering of Italian diggers lured by lies of easy gold. Harlan Hawk McGraw ruled from his slag perch office, a hawk-beaked tyrant in oiled canvas and Stetson, his ledger tallying men like cordwood for the Blue Ridge Coal Consortium's distant vaults. Pinkerton guards, duster-clad wolves with peacemakers holstered low, patrolled the pithead, cracking skulls over breather fines or slow swings. Quota was law, 3 tons per man daily, or face eviction into the laurel hells. Faded Truths. History unearths this vein of raw defiance from America's soot-forged underbelly, where a freckled lass's flour-dusted fists would knead rebellion from despair's cold dough. Clara O'Leary woke to the whistle's shriek in the women's bunkhouse, a sagging lean-to of salvaged barnwood and newspaper-stuffed walls, where rain wept through tin seams, and the stench of damp wool mingled with cough-racked slumber. 19 years etched harsh lines around her emerald eyes holding faded Kerry meadows drowned in Atlantic gales. Freckles dusted her cream skin like foxfire sparks. Chestnut curls, wild as mountain briars, braided tight against the grit. She'd fled Ireland at 14, the lost to a Limerick squall that swallowed his fishing smack, mom to ship fever's yellow grip mid-ocean. Brothers Paddy and Liam chased Colorado silver, only to vanish under avalanche rubble, their letters home replaced by silence. Sean, 22 and quarry pony strong, was her tether, bull-necked, with a thunder laugh that boomed through hollows, forever palming her shiny coal nuggets as talismans. One more seam, Clary girl, he'd rumble, mustache twitching. Kentucky flats await, chicken scratchin', corn knee-high, porch swing creakin' under stars. You'll bake the county golden, mark me. She swung her bare feet to frostbit planks, shivering into a flour sack shift patched with tobacco sacks, and stoked the communal fire pit with pilfered coke nubs. Porridge bubbled in a dented kettle, oats watered thin as preacher's promises, salted with creek silt and yesterday's tears. Women gathered like crows, widow finch, 70 and gnarl-fingered from decades mending pick-halves and widow weeds. Sally Tate, 25, saloon fancy with coal-rimmed eyes, and a limp from Hawk's foreman favors in the Bluefield cat house. Young Meg Harlan, consumptive shadow-hacking phlegm flecked red, her man crushed last Easter under a runaway mule cart. Sean's 7-foot veins gas-trapped lass, Finch rasped, stirring gray sludge. Well, she's heard hissin' yesterday, low and mean like serpent in Eden, timbers creakin' like old bones. Mark me, it'll blow for supper. Sally smirked, flipping singed curls. Hawk'll dock the widow's double for the rescue. Scrip only at his store, flour up to $1 a pound. Meg wheezed a prayer, clutching rosary beads carved from coal. Clara's belly knotted tighter than a hangman's noose, but words stuck like shale in throat. Instead, she hauled her grand's iron kneading trough from under the bunk, a battered relic from Kerry hearths, scarred by famine loaves. Flour bartered from goat herd McTeague. Buttermilk soured just right, caraway seeds plucked from fence row weeds. Her hands worked ritual, thumping dough till it sighed yielding. Soda bread, fierce rising with crust like hammered copper, sent cutting coal reek like a prayer. She'd hawk them shack to shack come dawn, trading for needles, lamp oil, or precious nickel scrip. Useless paper redeemable only at Hawk's Gouge Mart, where bacon cost a day's swing. Baking was anchor, rhythm drowning dread. Thump thump, fold fold, a bulwark against the hollow's gnawing hunger. By 5:30, Blackthorn thrummed to Hades' hymn. Mules clopped into shadowed drifts, their brays echoing off slate walls. Lanterns bobbed like hellfire will-o'-the-wisps, down shafts plunging 300 feet. Pickaxes rang staccato, clink clang, chipping coal that greased Hawk's palms. Clara slung her basket, apron flapping over shale switchbacks, treacherous as a drunkard's grudge. First stop, Sean's crew shack, where he wolfed a heel, crumbs snowing his mustache. Fuel for devil's quota, sis. Tonight, Applejack by the creek. Dream the farm alive. His grin flashed white amid black smear. She pocketed his nugget, heart swelling. Hawk prowled pithead like a rattler sunning, yellow eyes appraising the tally board. 1,200 tons short last week. Breather fines, livied triple. Flanked by Pinkertons, scarred Texan Grimes with notched colt. Lanky O'Malley fingering whip. He barked at stragglers. Swing or starve, Patties. Consortium don't pay idlers. Blackthorn's veins spidered labyrinthine. Main haulage way branching to number 3's 7-footer. Gas pockets bloating like mine canaries' swollen eyes. Sean swung deep, chisel biting black gold, sweat carving rivers through dust mask. Noon brewed storm sudden. Clara slid risen loaves into the bake oven, a clay-domed beast of river rock and mule ash, mouth glowing cherry red, when the mountain stirred wrathful. Low growl swelled subterranean, timbers cracking rifle volleys, slate shrieking like damned souls, a seismic belch erupting from number 3 in dust-choked roar. The vein pancaked cataclysmic, 30 men swallowed, timbers splintering matchwood, gas igniting blue whoosh that singed rescuers' brows. Screams muffled to gurgles under tons. Earth shuddered aftershock ripples cracking bunkhouse walls. Women bolted from tubs and cook fires. Gaelic keens piercing fog. Ochone Mo Croy. Men surged pithead, picks dropping, faces ashen. Clara sprinted barefoot, shale flaying soles bloody, apron shed serpent-like, lungs searing coal tar. Chaos vortex, dust-plumed blindness, lanterns swinging lunatic arcs, wives clawing rubble bare-handed till nails splintered. Hawk mounted his roost perch, megaphone amplified. Company orders, no diggin' sands waver. Fill the bleed and mourn productive like. Pinkertons clubbed the tide, Grimes cracking Meg's ribs, O'Malley boot-kicking Sally into mire. Clara shoved through melee, voice raw flensed. Sean's in there, me brother. Let us dig, ye god-cursed vulture. Hawk's gaze raked her, appraising widow flesh for saloon debt. Girl, you're kin's coal now. Back off 'fore I find you breathin'. Grimes' boot met her ribs. She tasted blood shale slurry, vision spotting. Dusk guttered lanterns on grim harvest. 28 mangled husks stretchered out, faces caved like rotten pumpkins. 2 survivors gasping black spittle, ribs stoven. Sean, absent. Eternity's claim absolute. Clara slumped vigil in mud rain, unblinking till bones chilled hypothermic. Iron grip seized her elbows then. Mary, Iron Mary, Callahan, 45. Broad as a long wall brace. Gray braids rope plaited under calico kerchief. Flint eyes chipped from triple widowhood. First man black lunge slow. Second blasted to mist. Third breaker boy massacred in 78 strike she'd union-led against militia volleys. Her half-acre farm clutched Hollow's lip like a fist. Stubborn beans pole climbing, fist-taters mounding. Windfall apples fermenting underfoot. Wrested from company blight by sheer cussed orneriness. Up, lass. Ghosts don't warm your bones. Mary's voice gravel forge. No clucking pity. Just Appalachian oak unyielding. Clara sagged leaden. Can't. Sean's all I had left. Grip vice tightened. Lost 3 meself. Mountains devour, but you rebuild or molder. Eat first, reckon after. Clara trailed uphill shale slide, legs slate dragging into hearthfire's defiant glow. Quilted walls blooming quilted hollyhocks, psalm-frayed Bible agape, dust fiddled by casement. Cast iron cauldron steamed venison thick. Wild carrots ramp dug from rhododendron shade. Dumplings risen plump as hope's first breath. Onions foraged ghost garlic sharp. Words hemorrhaged over supper. Carrie's emerald bogs lost to blight. Atlantic's typhus culling. Sean's farm visions vivid as prayer. Mary whittled corncob pipe steady, blade whispering threats. Hawk's viper worse. Evicts funeral fresh widows. Saloon sells their script for rotgut debt. But your loaves? Gold purin vein nugget in this pit hell. Stay. Sharecrop me patch. No rent, half yield. Feed Hollow's widows first, then snot-nosed bairns. Starve his quotas slow. Clara rasped hoarse. Why me, stranger? Mary chuckled low-throated, tobacco spit arcing. Fire flickers under your grief grit. Truth, girl's scrawny as whipcord. Can't plow solo nor snare rabbit true. Dawn's weak birthed Sean's cairn. River rocks cairned high. Celtic cross-knife scratched deep. Sean O'Leary, dreamer of flats. Hawk's eviction writ for her bunk. Company code on unattached females. Torched crisp in Mary's stove. Let the buzzard fetch ashes. Hollow's whisper net crackled electric. Clara bunked Mary's loft. Cornhusk pallet her throne. Mornings, dawn plow rocky furrows behind mulebess. The sway-backed rye seed broadcast. Kale greens manured deep with mine mule leavings. Noons, oven sorcery. Soda loaves caraway fanged crust. Apple stack cakes sorghum dripping 13 layers skyward. Hickory nut cornbread golden crumbed. Mary mentored mountain craft. Ramp hollows spring dug pungent. Applejack copper stilled from frostbitten windfalls. Snares jaw snapping rabbit plump. Harvest moon waxed. Mary's yield crested bountiful. Taters fist big burlap bagged. Beans jacks stalk high potted purple. Bluefield market barter dodged rigged scales. Nickels hoarded against winter's wolf. Hawk's generous buyout runner slunk uphill. Offer parchment quilled. Pittance for plot. Mary spat juice brown. Tell your beak we'll bake his funeral pie first, sorghum sweet. First Sunday bake convened sacrament. Outdoor oven belching wood smoke benediction. Neighbors trickling shale trail. Hollow-cheeked pick swingers. Burlap sack urchins thumb-sucking. Weary wives hip baby swaying. Loaves steamed gratis. Pay when Providence allows. Fiddler Zeke, one-eyed banjo strummer, wailed, Shady Grove, fiddle keen, voices counterpoint lilting, Gaelic lilt twining English twang. Timmy Boyle, 9 and lung-racked hacking, devoured caraway heel, beaming tear glint. Ma's own taste, God rest her hasty soul. Hawk's ridge spies glowered lantern-eyed, but gathering dispersed peace-veiled yeast bond kindling slow in despair's dough. Winter's breath silvered peaks blue. Clara toughened, hands callous-leathered, frame-filling dough-fed. Blackthorn's chill eased flicker by hearth flicker. Oven its nascent pulse. Driftwood Clara rooted feral fierce. Mary's flank her windbreak. Hawk's shadow lengthened quota cruel, but bread's aroma wove first defiance threads. Hollow stirring, bellyful murmurs plodding warmer than coal fire. Chapter 2. Oven's Defiant Glow. Winter 1883 clamped Blackthorn Hollow in iron jaws, howling gales scouring spruce spines, snowdrifts waist-deep against tar paper shacks, the hungry hollow mine's lanterns flickering like dying embers in number 4 shaft's gas-house depths. Coal quotas bit deeper under Harlan Hawk McGraw's whip-crack edicts. 4 tons per man now. Breather fines tripled. Script devalued to whispers at his gouge store, where flour hit $2 the pound and bacon strips shriveled small as sin. Pinkertons doubled patrols, their peacemakers glinting frost blue, evicting 3 widows post-Christmas for unproductive grief. Families pitched into laurel hells with babes blue-lipped and howling. Hawk's slag perch office belched coal stove smoke, his ledger blooming red with consortium demands. Break the patties or break even. Fated truths. History fans the flames of this frozen forge, where Clara and Mary's half-acre hearth baked the first cracks in Hawk's empire of soot. Clara O'Leary, hands now callous-leathered from plow and pestle, rose pre-whistle in Mary's cabin, the loft's corn-husk pallet warm from shared quilts, stitched with thistledown. Dawn's slate-light filtered frost-rimed panes, gilding the iron-kneading trough like a Carrie relic reborn. She'd toughened these months, frame-filling dough-fed, freckles stark against wind-burnt cheeks, emerald eyes sharpening from grief's fog to mountain steel. Sean's cairn stood sentinel uphill, snow-capped Celtic cross a mute vow. Mary snored below, broad frames sprawled under bear pelt, corncob pipe dangling from lips cracked tobacco brown. Up lass, Clara murmured to the dark, slipping down ladder rungs worn smooth as prayer beads. Hearth embers glowed. She coaxed them to roar with spruce kindling, hauling water from iced creek in yoke buckets that sloshed freezing arcs. Breakfast ritual, Mary's fish taters boiled mushy with ramp remnants, Johnny cakes fried crisp in lard scraps, coffee subbed chicory root roasted black as vein dust. Hawks postin' no pay notices today, Mary growled over tin mugs, flint eyes narrowing. Evicted the Flanagans last night, 6 bairns, eldest girl 12. Company's mercy, saloon work for her, rest to the poorhouse wagon. Clara's jaw set, kneading dawn dough fierce, soda loaves triple batch, caraway fanged and buttermilk tangy, apple stack cake, 13 sorghum dripping layers from windfall hoard, fermented sweet, cornbread studded hickory nuts cracked knuckle bloody. We'll bake double, feed 'em first, Flanagan's, then Meg's consumptive lad. Mary nodded, whittling snare wire. Aye, ovens are militia, but Hawk's spying closer. Grimes the Texan skulk in fence rows, note in our yield. Morning plows churned snow-frosted furrows behind swayback Bess, mule breath steaming dragon plumes. Rye greened stubborn under manure mulch, kale bolted hardy, beans pole-climbed purple pods splitting sugar sweet. Clara forked hayloft fresh, Bess nickering approval, while Mary set jaw traps in rhododendron shade. Rabbit halls plump despite lean times. Noon summoned oven alchemy, clay dome beast clay daubed and river rocked belching wood smoke sacrament. Loaves emerging copper crust, steam curling aromatic defiance. Basket slung, Clara trekked shale switchbacks, hawking gratis to Hollow's hollow cheek. Widow Finch clutching 2 loaves tear glint. God mend your mercy, child. Timmy Boyle hacking glee through cornbread crumbs. Ma's ghost in every bite. Word of the oven of Iron Mary, whispered hollow fast. A yeast-leavened gospel evading Pinkerton ears. Sundays swelled sacred. Outdoor bake fire crackling hickory blue. Neighbors surging shale trail thick. Pick swingers gaunt from quota slave. Burlap urchins thumb-sucking snowmelt. Wives hip-swaying with frost-bitten babes. Fiddler Zeke, one-eyed banjo scratcher, tuned battered strings. Shady Grove wailed fiddle keen, lilting Gaelic counterpoint twining twangy English. Cheeks like a rose, darlin', eyes like the dew. Voices swelled 100 strong, harmony cutting gales like axe blade. No script changed hands, just pay when Providence smiles. Loaves passed hand to heart. Delilah the laundress, ribs bruised from Hawk's debt collection, whispered to Clara, your bacon binds us tighter in blood. Me boy's fever broke on that stack cake. Hawk struck mid-January, venom precise. Grimes and O'Malley thundered uphill at dusk. Peacemakers loose, boots gouging Mary's doorsill. Consortium notice, Grimes bellowed Texan drawl, parchment flapping. Unlicensed commerce on company leasehold. Surrender plot, ovens, stock, or forfeit triple fines, immediate eviction. Mary filled doorway broadside, pipe clenched fang-like. Lease? This lands me, blood boy. Cleared with me first man's pick for your consortium suckled at teat. Bake our mercy? That's free gospel, not your gouge. O'Malley whip-fingered. Mary Callahan, strike agitator 78. Company's memory long, Pinkertons remember militia dodgin'. Clara flanked silent, oven trowel gripped white-knuckled like shillelagh, emerald fire blazing. Hawk slunk in person next dawn. Stetson low-shadowed yellow eyes raking Clara appraising, widow flesh prime for Bluefield cathouse debt. Generous buyout, ladies. $50 cash, relocation scrip. Refuse? Sheriff's levy next week. Auction your mule, quilts, that Irish tart's knead and trough. Mary spat juice arcing precise onto his toe tip. Funeral pies all you're gettin' beak. Sorghum sweet, crow-filled. Hawk's smirk congealed venom. Starve 'em out then. Quotas 5 tons come spring. No bread breaks that. He wheeled, spurs jingling menace. Pinkertons shadowing like jackals. Defiance coalesced snow night. Hollow's whisper net hummed urgent. Post-supper, 24 crammed Mary's cabin. Miner's fists pick calloused. Wives' eyes flint sparked. Zeke fiddling low, Barbara Allen. Clara stood crate perch, voice carry lilt steel-clad. Hawk chokes us coal throat. But bread binds. Our oven feeds what his store starves. Barter network. My loaves for your taters. Meg's mending for Delilah's wash. Zeke's fiddle for snares. Sharecrop circle. Half to Hollow's mouth, half to hoard. Mary boomed gravel. 78 strike taut. Unity's our timber. Hawk evicts 1, we ghost haunt his quotas. Nods rippled. Fists clenched vow. Timmy Boyle piped wheeze soft. I'll carry Loaves secret like, Miss Clara. First, Council of the Oven adjourned midnight. Snow-muffling footfalls home. February thawed treacherous. Mud-sucking boots calf deep. Ramps pungent greening hollows. Clara's yield crested. Rye loaves seeded deep. Kale soup ladled hollow hot. Applejack copper-stilled warming night councils. Hawk retaliated vicious. Pinkertons torched Finnegan's shack pre-dawn. Arson lesson for loaf trade-in. Clara led baked dawn response. 50 loaves, stew cauldron bubbling, rebuilding crew hammering fresh tar paper under Zeke's John Henry hammer song. Hawk fumed slag perch, ledger hemorrhaging as quotas slipped. Men sick with full bellies, swings slowing deliberate. Grimes cornered Clara Creekside, breath whiskey reeking. Irish slut, Hawk'll break ya, cat house awaits, legs spread for scrip. She dashed creek water full face, trowel flashing. Tell your beak, bread breaks beaks first. Oven's glow kindled wildfire. Bluefield market runs tripled. Nickels hoarded for seed, salt, rare sugar cones. Children schooled whisper lessons. Clara's alphabet scratched shale slates over cornbread. Meg's herbals recited ramp gathering. Fiddles wove nightly. Will the circle be unbroken, binding grief to grit? Mary's farm pulsed heart. Bess plowing spring furrows. Rabbit pots steaming. Orchard windfalls stacked ferment deep. Hawk's shadow loomed sheriff wagon, but Hollow breathed warmer, bellies full, murmurs plotting boulder. Clara, once driftwood, stood forge mistress. Dough her blade, yeast her gunpowder. By equinox eve, Blackthorn's underbelly stirred seismic. Quota tallies faked. Pinkerton patrols ambushed rockfalls, accidental. Oven councils swelled 50 strong. Maps scratched of Hawk's store routes. Clara needed midnight batch. Mary's pipe glow watchful. You've leavened an army, lass. Spring thaws Hawk's grip. Frost diamonds glittered peaks. Defiance bloomed thorny as blackberry briar. Chapter 3. Quotas breaking point spring 1884 erupted feral in Blackthorn Hollow. Rhododendron exploding pink blazes along shale ridges. Ramps thrusting pungent spears from creek hollows. The Hungry Hollow Mines number 5 shaft, groaning under Hawk McGraw's quota. blitz. 6 tons per man now. Swing fines quadrupled. Scrip worthless as Confederate ghosts at his store, where a pound of salt fetched a week's blood sweat. Pinkerton patrols tripled. Duster wolves like Grimes and O'Malley cracking ribs over loaf smugglin', evicting 4 families into Laurel Hells, where bobcats screamed night-long. Hawk's slag office spewed telegraph smoke to consortium overlords. Paddies slacken, union whispers, request militia. But the oven's yeast rebellion swelled underground. 50 families bound by Clara's loaves, Mary's grit, Zeke's fiddle hymns, barter webs snaking hollows, quotas faked with sick days, and rockfall mishaps. Fated truths. History strikes this vein deeper, where bread forged an arsenal against the coal baron's iron heel. Clara O'Leary stood taller now, wind-burnt freckles stark as war paint, chestnut braids laced with ramp greens, emerald eyes forged to blade edge from months of council vows. Mary's half-acre pulsed bounty, rye fields rippling green seas, kale jungles yielding soup pots endless, apple orchard dripping windfall gold for jack stills, copper gleaming. Dawn broke with plow song, Bess the mule churning furrows deep, Clara forking manure mulch rhythmic as war drum, Mary snare checking rabbit pots brimming. Hawk's sheriff wagon rolls Friday, Mary growled over Johnny cake breakfast, flint eyes scanning ridge lines where Pinkerton spies glassed their smoke. Auction starts with Flanagan's eldest, 12 to cat house debt. We hit first. Bake storm the hollow pre-dawn. Feed 'em march ready. Oven councils blazed weekly now. Mary's cabin sardined shoulder to shoulder. Pick calloused fists. Hip babes fretting. Zeke fiddling low. John Henry hammer beats. Clara crate perched. Voice carry steel. Hawk chokes 6-ton noose. Men droppin' like windfall apples. Black lung risin'. Arnett holds. Meg's herbs for Delilah's wash. Widow Finch's men's for Timmy's secret runs. Tonight, map his store convoy. Ambush with rock salt slips. Reroute script to our horde. Nods thundered. Timmy Boyle, consumptive cheeks flushed loaf fat, piped. I'll decoy Grimes, miss. Cough loud by the ford. Mary boomed gravel. 78 taut rifles break on Unity timber. Spring fares our anvil. Hawk hosts. Pinkerton's drunk. We bake the fare under his nose. Free loaves masked as charity. Swell our ranks triple. Hawk pounced vicious pre-fare. Thursday gloaming, Grimes and 3 duster thugs stormed Mary's door. Peacemakers drawn moonglint. Torches spitting pitch black. Consortium warrant, Grimes bellowed whiskey slurred. Parchment aflame. Trespass commerce, strike incitin'. Surrender ovens, stock, Irish whore, or burn. Clara gripped trowel shillelagh taut behind Mary, heart thunderhammer. Mary filled frame door barrier, pipe fang clenched. Burn your own nest, Tex. This soils me triple widow's blood. Try torchin'. Hollow rises, picks high. Thugs lunged. Hollow's shadow net erupted. 20 miners melting from rhododendrons, picks and snares gleaming. Zeke's banjo twang masking advance. Grimes backpedaled, Colt barking wild into dark. Rock pinged barrel. Fall back, militia's comin'. Thugs scattered shale slide, leaving singed fence row and scorched pride. Fair dawn broke riot bright. Bluefield meadow cleared for Hawk's quota celebration. Bunting ragged on poles. Saloon tents whiskey reeking. Fiddle bands twanging turkey in the straw, off-key. Consortium reps in plug hats descended, toasting Hawk's iron hand. Pinkerton's ringed drunk staggering. Clara's bake army struck pre-whistle. Mule cart ovens trail rolled. 50 loaves steaming caraway fierce. Stack cakes sorghum lush, cornbread hickory heart. Massed as widow relief, they flooded stalls. Hollow folk surging, bellies filling rebellion ready. Timmy decoyed Grimes with cough theater. Delilah palmed script from drunk foreman. Miners accidented Pinkerton whiskey with creek mud. Hawk fumed stage perch. Yellow eyes venom-raking Clara amid the crush. Sluts loaves, union bait. Pinkertons, seize carts. Clash ignited meadow melee. O'Malley whip cracked at Timmy. Clara dashed trowel high, splashing Creekmire faceful. Choke on it, snake. Hollow erupted. Wives hurling ramp rocks. Miners pick-wielding sham charge. Zeke's Will the Circle Be Unbroken, swelling battle hymn. Hawk drew peacemaker, bark thunderclap. But consortium reps balked. No blood on fair day, quotas first. Pinkertons retreated mud-soaked, carts intact, Loaves devoured defiant. Hawk roared impotent. Sheriff auctions tomorrow, your ovens first. Clara locked emerald fire. Bake your new speak. Sheriff Dawn rolled wagon grim. Mary's farm, target zero. Ovens chained. Bess yoked for Bluefield block. Hollow's net peaked perfect. Pre-dawn, 200 ringed shale ridge. Picks planted timber wall. Clara council led. No blood, timber blockade. Hawk auctions air. Wagon creaked uphill. Sheriff balked at pick forest. Can't auction ghosts. Hawk spurred personal. Stetson low. Spurs menace jingling. Out of me way patties. Consortium law. Mary advanced pipe glow. Laws are loaves. Starve your quotas first. Clara flanked trowel ready. Evict us? Hollow evicts Hawk. Faces gaunt united stared him down. Pinkertons outnumbered 10-1. Hawk wheeled spitting curses. Wagon retreating dusttail. Victory fermented wild. Councils swelled 100 strong. Maps plotting store raids. Script caches liberated. Store scales smashed creek deep. Clara's ovens tripled. Communal domes dotting hollows. Recipes shared shale scratch. Soda tang, stack lush. Cornbread gold. Children schooled boulder. Alphabet over loaves. Herbals recited ramp runs. Zeke's fiddle nightly binding. Mary's yield fed army. Rye bread armies. Kale cauldrons endless. Jack warming plots. Hawk telegraphed desperate. Insurrection. Militia urgent. But quotas cratered. Men full-bellied slacked. Falls happened. Output halved. Grimes cornered Clara Night Creek again. Knife flashing. Hawk says cat house or grave. She trowel parried. Knee gut high. Dumping him mire-faced. Grave's yours. Oven hot. Equinox full moon crowned climax. Hollow's grand council. Bonfire roaring spruce blue. 200 chanting John Henry fist high. Clara stood blaze lit. Hawk's militia thaws with us. We demand. Fair scrip. No evictions. 3-ton quota max. Cheers earthquake rumbled. Mary clasped shoulder. You've needed revolution less. Bread's our bullet. Hawk's spies fled ridge scrambling. Consortium whispers of settle or strike. Blackthorn breathed free air electric. Ovens pulsing war heart. Clara forge queen crowned in flower dust. Sheriff retreated. Hawk's ledger bled red oceans. Hollow bloomed. Gardens communal. Fiddles dawn anthem. Loaves sacrament binding unbreakable. But militia drums beat distant thunder. Hawk's vengeance brewed venom black. Chapter 4, Hearthfire's Triumph. May 1884 thundered reckoning over Blackthorn Hollow. Dogwoods shedding pink blizzard petals along shale cathedrals. Ramps yielding to wild strawberries blood-sweet in creek hollows. But the hungry hollow mine's veins ran dry under Harlan Hawk, McGraw's desperation quota. 7 tons per man. Idler's tax evicting daily. Script toilet paper at his store, where a needle cost a lung. Militia drums rolled from Bluefield. 50 state troops in sky blue tunics. Springfield rifles stacked pyramid at Hawk's slag fort. Consortium telegraphs screaming, crush the bread riot. Pinkerton swelled to 20. Grimes nursing creek knee bruise. O'Malley whip-scarred from Fairmalay. Hawk's perch bristled Gatling mock-up. Yellow eyes mania wild. Burn the ovens, hang the agitators. Consortium demands blood tonnage. But Clara's yeast legion peaked 300 strong. Hollow united in barter steel. Ovens dotting ridges like rebel beacons. Mary's farm arsenal heart pounding defiance. Faded truths. History caps this vein blaze, where Loaves toppled coal tyrants. Hollows rose eternal. Clara O'Leary reigned forge queen. Freckles war-etched. Chestnut braids ramp-laced. Emerald blade eyes scanning militia smoke from Mary's loft. Dawn councils crammed cabin burst scene. Pick fists iron. Wives flint sparked. Zeke fiddling John Henry doomhammer. Timmy Boyle consumptive cheeks rosy loaf plump leading urchin scouts. Malicious Friday dawn. Hawk auctions all farms. Ovens dynamited. Clara Carey steel-voiced from crate throne. Our play. Total shutdown. No swings, no mules. Hollow ghosts. Women and bairns hold ovens timber-ringed. Men fall shafts deliberate. Starve his output zero. Mary gravel boomed, pipe fang glow. 78 militia broke on our pick wall. Rifles rust when bellies empty. Jack hoard last month. Rye fields yield endless. Delilah laundress rose, ribs bruised. Me washnet smuggles script, stores half ours now. Cheers quake rumbled. Timmy piped. Scouts'll spike their rails, miss. Hawk lunged pre-dawn Thursday, venom apex. Slag convoy thundered. Militia Captain Rawls in gold braid. 20 rifles bayonet bright. Pinkerton's torch wagons trailing. Hawk spurring lead Stetson mad. Target. Mary's farm alpha strike. Ovens chain gouged. Bess yoked drag ready. Half-acre trampled assertion. Hollow's ghost net peaked poetry. 300 melted rhododendron veil as convoy crested ridge. Women oven perch trowel axes. Men pick walls shale block. Zeke's banjo twang masking advance. Wagon braked mudsuck. Rawls barked. Disperse, rabble, or 50 lashes state law. Hawk dismounted spurs ringing, peacemaker loose. Callahan, O'Leary whore, your oven's ash. Consortium sentence. Clara advanced loaf basket high. Emerald locked Hawk's yellow. Sentence yourself, beak. Hollow strikes. No coal till fair scrip. No evictions. 3-ton quota sworn. Starve your vaults or join the dead. Mary flanked pipe trailing smoke signal. Pick fist hollow roaring. Burn one oven. Burn the vein. Militia rifles snapped half cock. But ranks rippled mutiny. Boys from neighboring hollows. Bellies loaf hollowed. Rifles drooping. Private Ellis, 19 and gaunt, lowered Springfield. Captain, Mima cued Clara's stack cake last fair. Ain't firin' on bread. Rawls face twisted. Treason, fix bayonets. But Pinkerton Grimes lunged Clara Ward knife flash. Timmy decoy dashed cough shriek. Delilah ramp rock cracked skull. Melee vortex. Wives trowel swinging. Miners pick thrust sham. Zeke's will the circle be unbroken. Battle psalm swelling gale force. Hawk fired wild peacemaker thunder. Grazed Mary's shoulder blood flower. She charged bear rampage. Pipe shattering nose. Cartilage crunch. Clara trowel parried O'Malley whip. Knee gut crushing. Dumping mire faced. Choke snake. Bread breaks beaks. Militia cracked. Half-deserted ranks loaf loyal. Rifles stacked surrender. Rawls telegraphed frantic. Mutiny, consortium recall. Hawk grappled Clara throat claw, venom spit. Cathhouse slut, alt Mary pickbutt stove ribs crack. Timmy urchins swarmed ankles biting. Hawk retreated wagon tail dust. Militia dissolving ghost march. Pinkerton's shale scrambling. Oven stood untorched. Bess freed knicker triumph. Hollow erupted fiddle roar. Consortium crumbled noon telegram. Settle immediate. National eyes on Blackthorn. Hawk summoned parley under white flag spruce. Stetson humbled. Nose bandaged crooked. Clara and Mary advanced loaf-armed, hollow 300 pick-ringed silent menace. Terms, Hawk grated nasal. 3-ton quota, script fair, no evictions. Clara Emerald unblinking. Sworn charter, union council elected. Ovens communal sacred. Children's school shale built. Hawk nodded venom banked. Done, but cross me. Mary chuckled gravel. Your ledgers are yeast. Rises eternal. Ink scratched parchment under Zeke's shady grove, soft lilt. Blackthorn charter born, first in Appalachia. Victory bonfire blazed equinox eve spruce blue. 300 feasting rye armies. Kale cauldrons endless. Stack cakes sorghum thrones. Applejack copper flowing. Fiddles wailed circle unbroken. Gaelic English twang binding blood oath. Timmy Boyle danced consumptive flush. Hollow's home forever, Miss Clara. Children schooled open air. Alphabet shale scratched over cornbread, ABCs. Mary's herbals recited strawberry picking. Zeke banjo tutoring next fiddlers. Mary's farm heart pulsed. Communal gardens sprawling ridge-wide. Bess plowing shared furrows. Rabbit pots village-wide. Hawk slunk slag perch defeated. Quotas halved. Store scales honest weighted. Blue Ridge Consortium grumbled distant, but Blackthorn breathed free. Gardens blooming, fiddles dawn anthem. Loaves sacrament eternal. Years etched legend. Clara wed Timmy's big brother grown strong loaf-fed. Birthed freckled bakers carrying soda tang forward. Mary, gray braids snow-crowned. Mentored council till 90, pipe glow eternal. Blackthorn spread oven nets to neighboring hollows, Knob Creek, Devil's Run, Bread Rebellion yeast leavening Appalachia wide. Hawk vanished Bluefield saloon rot, nose crooked ghost. Faded truth's history seals this vain triumph. From shaft ruin rose hearth empire, where Irish freckles and mountain grit kneaded chains to golden crust. The hollow bloomed eternal, ovens glowing defiance, proving bread breaks barons. Subscribe to Faded Truth's History for more embers from America's buried hearts, where simple loaves forged unbreakable dawns.